Dear students, we will be talking about the another part of this theme. We already talked about emergency situation. Now, another thing which they identify in your thematic apperception test is related to your approach to different situations, particularly your quality of organizing. You know that we have 15 OLQs to be identified. That means we have to check these factor number 1, planning and organizing, factor number 2, social adaptability, and then factor number 3, social effectiveness, and factor number 4, dynamic. Now, in this, planning and organizing is a very important factor, and in this a lot of things come in. Like here it comes in terms of what should I say, that they basically want to see how well you can think in terms of a sequential organizing. So when they want to identify this, they give you situations, different situations, and in the picture they want to find, did you have this exposure? Many of you who are studying in schools or finished schools and college, you have done some organizing or the other. As a house captain, maybe as a school captain, as a class monitor, or even as furthermore in colleges when you do your things, and also in your home. You sometimes create a surprise party for your parents or anything. So when you do that organizing, don't you think you have to think multiple? You have to think on different aspects, and that also sequentially, beginning from thinking about how you plan to go about the the party or the organizing function, whatever. Sequentially, how you work with the preparation, decoration, refreshments, the games, the activities, and ending up with the reward ceremony or ending up with the gift ceremony and thereafter departure. Don't you do that? Okay. Many of you have done that. So you will see that in many of the 12 stories, in a complete set of 12 stories, there will be a picture which will give you that platform where you can think of organizing. Okay, let's take it that there is nothing. They will show you people sitting down and somebody speaking to them. Again, here also there is a set of organizing. So what do you do in this? You basically, here, if you have been an organizer and you have those qualities, you will automatically write a story of that, in which you will show that, for example, 4 people, 6 people standing. So you will show that so and so was given the charge to organize this. So he collected all of the people. He decided they will do this, they will do this. He also took their ideas and thereafter allotted responsibilities. He coordinated. He also did this. And finally, as a result, they were successful. Yes or no? Natural, because this comes from your experience. You may have done it in your sports games also. You must have done something or the other. Now, this thought process, where you organize, where you visualize, where you are able to think sequentially, is very important, very important. Because when you will do your day-to-day activities, you will have to do this. And when you will do this systematically, it will naturally get a task completed. So they want these stories. So they may show you a picture. Suppose they show you a picture of a marketplace, or they show you a picture of a celebration going on, or they show you a picture of people sitting and listening to somebody, or they show you a picture of some kind of stage, some annual function. You automatically, who have already been into organizing, will get into that mode and they will write a story of their own experience. Why do we want the story of your experience? Because we want to identify, do you have this exposure? Do you have a sequential thought? Do you do it properly? Now this is very, 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 very important. And when you do all these things, automatically what happens? We are able to figure out the kind of person you are, the kind of clarity you have, the kind of camaraderie you have. Because while you organize, you require what? You require planning, organizing, you require effectiveness of thought process, you require camaraderie, cooperation, because you will do it with all together. You will require certain amount of liveliness, certain amount of understanding of human nature, and making it perfectly complete. Am I right? So this way, this theme automatically identifies this. So some people who have had this experience, and when they write this from their own experience, it is like opening your heart out. And this is very important because this will be later verified in the interviewer. But once you have not written, suppose you have done organizing, but you have not written, what have you done? You missed the opportunity of expressing that you have done something. Once you have written here, it doesn't end the game. It continues from here, and later in the interview it is verified. Later in the GTO there may be a few questions, and when you do that organizing during the group planning exercise, they will identify your thought process. So you know what? Organizing has a very difficult frame of mind. While you organize, you become you become very clear, and the picture of clarity is very, it's very evident that you know what is to be done first, what is to be done second, what is to be done third, and how you will complete all. Yes, that is exactly what they are looking at. So when you get a picture where they are showing something, and you show that there was a person, and you have already been into schools, colleges, where even worst come worst school also, you have 26th January, 2nd October, 15th August, you have some celebration, some organizing, and you generally write about that, don't you? Okay, you may not be doing it, but you must have seen your district magistrate doing some kind of organizing. You must have appreciated the work done by somebody else also. You must have appreciated of some day-to-day activities when your father did a party and how you organize it. You must have learned. After all, observational learning is what makes your attitude, doesn't it? So you have written this. We'll get an idea. Again, while writing, the desire to do it very well is your emotions. Thereafter, the initiative means to come forward and plan is also there. In the planning, the sequencing, thought process with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, etc. written. And thereafter, once you have planned, arranging the things, and thereafter sequentially doing the different activity and welcoming the guest, managing the guest, and thereafter sending farewell. All these things come into picture, doesn't it? So when you write these stories, we come to know that you have a sequential thought of organizing. Now this organizing doesn't go only in the parties or function. It also may be a school match, it may be a trekking activity, it may be an awareness movement. So all these things, if you've done, now this 12 stories and you are getting an opportunity, why don't you want to write it? If you will not write it, how will the psychologist come to know? And how will he identify that your biodata, which speaks of all this, is true? So when you have done it in your biodata, it is evident, and you are writing here, aren't you expressing very rightly that you are on the right track? So remember this point. Unfortunately, as I have told you, many of us have commercialized the education to that level that we want to make small things as a mega secret. It is not. This is a psychological test. I am reminding you again, it's not a creative or an English test. It's a psychological test. So in psychological test, your experiences which have influenced your mind, which has developed your attitude, which has exposed you to capabilities, has to be expressed. After all, what is the parameters of SSB selection? OLQs. They evaluate you on OLQs, 15 of them. And via your story, they come to know whether you know these qualities, whether you appreciate these qualities, whether you act as per these qualities. That is very important. Is it clear? Any doubts whatsoever? So this is one thing which I want to tell you. I hope you understand this theme. Again, with the length of the story doesn't have to be too long. It has to be reasonably, minimum you can write 70 to 80 words, but maximum you should write somewhere till 120 words, because that is 110, 120 words is okay, because that is the time which you will require and to complete your story. After all, 3 minutes are there, so you're not going to be a super speed person that you're writing 300 words. You'll be writing something around 80 words, because 80 words will complete the idea, and that's you should write. Is it clear? So this is your second theme, and you should develop this. You should write on different aspects, identify the different set of tests and see what is the picture which is coming out, how you can express your experience which you have done. You must have done it in school, you must have done it in college, you must have done it differently, and how you worked as a team to complete it, and how you made it success. You can write on it. And the emotions of celebrating as a team, working as a team can also come up. And we'll come to know something about your experience, something about the quality which you've already developed, and probably grade you better than the others. Got it? So I hope you've understood this point. Now you'll go down to the next theme and explain you that. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.